Now, as my friend Stamp would say, good enough for who it's for. Oh, I am not the woodworker that my great-grandfather or my grandfather was. But, you know, it took them a while. I try to show you all not to be scared to try this kind of stuff and try to show you all my flaws and mistakes, because I think that stuff's important. You see some of these people do these projects on YouTube and they only show you the perfect result, and that's just not how life is. You know, you have imperfections, learning curves, everything. Just want to show you the real stuff. So I think everything is ready. It's time to figure out how I can set these out and how to get them to dry overnight. Let's get to do some staining now. Let's see what this wood's going to look like. I've not tried this type of stain, or this color of stain. So let's see what we can come up with. Okay, we'll go with the Minwax. Special Walnut is the color of this, because I'm trying to get it to match the walnut mantle. Now, these are the bottoms, so let's see how this turns out. Anyway, I'll get this done and then we'll come back. Actually, tell you what we'll do, because I talk too much most of the time. Don't want to bore you to death. We will stain all these and I'll let these set overnight to dry and come back and show you what it looks like tomorrow after it's dried. So it's getting ready to happen for you. It'll be tomorrow for me. Anyway, by the magic of television, this is what it looks like done and dried. Ooh. Good morning. You can tell it's morning because there's coffee. Okay, this is dried overnight. It looks pretty good. I'm going to lift one up for you to see. Kind of dull looking right now, but the color and tint of it and everything, I'm pretty happy with. Let Pam look at it last night too. She's pretty happy with it too. She likes it. We made some decisions. So this is what I was tossing between. I did find, that's not it. Oh, I found it. You ought to see the amount of stuff laying on this stupid workbench. Oh, polyurethane. Rust-Oleum triple thick. I did find this tucked way back in the corner. It's about a half a thing, so plenty enough to do this. I think what we're going to do before we do that, because the poly takes a while to dry, I think at least 48 hours even to be able to do moderate use, I think is what the instructions say on it. We're going to go ahead and put the brackets for the legs on the bottom of this, and that way to give something for it to set up on. And have that installed. That way we got to do the poly, and then we'll attach the legs, and we'll be done. So, yeah. Let me show you this box of parts. Like I said, get on Amazon. I'll show you this big box of parts that's been taking up my workbench for a while, and see what all this stuff looks like. Now look at this. It is a whole box of just the metal pipe. You can get this at the hardware store, and it would be a lot more durable, I'm sure. But, you know, I got this off Amazon. It comes with all the screws I need. I need to check the length on those. All of the flanges, I think this is a flange, is that what that's called? All the flanges, all the pipes for the different lengths of legs. So it's going to be, these will be on the bottom of all the boards. You'll have, I think these short nubby ones will be like the legs for the base, and then the longer ones and stuff to tear it up. But this comes as a whole kit right here. I didn't have to go spend a bunch of stuff at the hardware store. And for a table. Yeah, this is cheap Chinesium, as they say. But I think it's going to work for this table just fine. That took a minute, but that's okay. Have I mentioned how much I love this wireless? Look at how farther back you are. How much of a wider view you can get. It's kind of hard to show some of these bigger projects on this workbench in this shop, and all the lighting and stuff. So it's just, I don't know. I'm still tickled to death with it. Been one of my most favorite upgrades probably since I went from my phone to the GoPro. So what I'm doing now, I forgot these flanges on the first two levels have to go on the bottom and the top of the boards. Coffee ain't totally kicked in yet this morning, but I want to give you a little example of what this is going to look like. So I've got the legs assembled on the bottom portion. Now you can probably, on these threads, you could use Loctite. You could use whatever. You can also, on these pipes, sand down this black coating on the outside. I did that on the hangers that I've got in the kitchen for the cast iron. And put, I can't remember what I put on those to coat them. I think just a clear coat to keep from rust. But this black coating is for rust. So I'm going to leave that on there on these. If I don't like it, I can fix it. But right here is the first tier. Hopefully you can see that. It's kind of squatty. But, then from here on, you'll have these taller ones that go up, and you'll have the next shelf, and go up and have the next shelf. Now, this thing will probably be too big to show here in the workshop. Or when I do, I'll be picking through the holes. This will work. So now it's time for the poly coat. I don't remember how I used this stuff, so this ought to be interesting. But let's get the poly on and get it to its many, many days of drying started. So blunder by me. When you're going to put these pipes on, they won't thread if you just twist it together. So guess what? Don't put all your flanges on at once. I started thinking, well, I'll go ahead and assemble a bunch of this and show you the top. Make it easier to move around, set up, have some room. Whatever. So don't put your bottom flanges on yet. Well, live and learn. I'm trying to save you all a step, because now I got to unscrew all these on this second tier and fix my problem. Let me fix that. Then we'll get to putting on the poly. All right, here goes nothing. Are you ready? So this is very, very thick triple coat is what it says. Like I said, I don't remember what I used this on, but it says one coat's just as good as it's doing 3 of the competing brands, so we shall see. And back a few days later, we let it dry. Make sure this poly is good and dry before we start handling it and stuff. And come on, check it out, see what it looks like. Try to get you here on the better side of the light. It all dried pretty good, and pretty happy with the way it looks. Okay, let's get to the final assembly of one tier on top of the other and try to give you a look in here in the shop of what it might look like. Oh, it's going to be close. And I know it looks like to you all that there's plenty enough room, but there's overhead lights and all kinds of stuff I've got up here, so there wasn't a whole lot of clearance. I should have thought to put these flanges on afterward like we're doing right now, but it's working out pretty good. You do have to, if you are doing this, remeasure these just to make sure they're right, and each one individually. These pipes will bend and flex a little bit, but so far they're going in pretty easy. So let me finish this up, and then we'll take a good look at it here in the shop, and I'll show you what it's going to look like inside the house to finish it off. Yeah, we did it. Really not that bad of a project. Would be a good project for any of you to try and just to learn some things and make some furniture. You know, this will sit in the living room. You'll probably be your worst critic about it, because I am mine most of the time. But wasn't that bad of a project. Took longer to prepare the wood than anything. Like I said, you know, this little kit and just a little bit of TLC, you know, I learned some things with using that hand plane and stuff, and that's why I try to use these old tools. Just in projects like this, build my confidence, learn how to use them a little better. You can find them a dime a dozen at stores and stuff. You know, I've found that over the years. But, you know, it's good to learn how to do this, and you don't have to use the hand tools if you've got, you know, power tools or whatever, just whatever you want to use. Even a block of wood and a piece of sandpaper would be able to get all this done, and a screwdriver. You know, it's going to be a little harder on your wrist, but good project. I think it turned out good. It's a little tall, as you can tell, taking up most of our area right here, but real happy with it. I keep looking at it. You know, I like the little bit of imperfections and stuff in it. So let's see what this looks like in the house now, and kind of show you where I was putting it and all that stuff, and I'll show you the mantle too while I got it in there. So let's set it in the house and set it up and put some stuff on it and get it ready for Pam to decorate. Now, obviously, I am not the decorator of the house, so Pam will get that all pretty and girly looking and like it's supposed to, but it's probably bright in that window, so if I'm blowing you out, sorry. But there's what I wanted. Gave me a little bit of extra room. You know, I'm sure there'll be some fine tuning and stuff depending on the decorations and everything, but this space needed some tables. You can see here, we've got the fireplace and the mantle, the dog bed, and the little bookshelf, and then Pam's blanket ladder I made her. But yeah, I think, you know, we'll look at the color here inside the house, and then I'll show you the mantle that I made. This was a chunk of actual walnut. It was just a downed walnut tree that I cut, kind of squared off, put for a mantle, and I've always been tickled with that. And I left some of the heartwood and the sapwood, kind of a mix, and it'd been down for a while, so, you know, there's some little bug trails and stuff, and I thought that was cool. So anyway, I don't think I've ever showed you my mantle, but there's our table and what my intent was on it. Like I said, it'll look way better once Pam gets a hold of it, but I'm pretty happy with that, and it fits. I left a little on each side, so it fits like I wanted it. Everything looks like it should to me. All right. So what do you think? I think it looked pretty good. I thought it looked pretty good. Wasn't that bad of a project. It was a fun project and something I challenge you all to try yourself, just to make your own little bit of furniture. You know, just an accent piece. It don't have to be anything major. But I had a fun time doing it. Had a fun time figuring this out, and just doing a little project out here in the building. Now that's starting to cool off finally. So, like I said, I hope it inspires you to do a project. Don't be scared to get out and try stuff and try something new and get a little crafty. But thank you all for stopping by. And I hope that you had a good time hanging out with me and doing a little bit of woodwork project. Where? Oh,